The second the front door clicked shut, my 6-year-old granddaughter looked up at me and spoke, clear as a bell. "Grandpa, don't drink the tea Dad made. He's plotting something." Lily was born mute. That's what every doctor told us. 6 years of silence, then a perfect sentence the moment we were alone. My hand froze over the mug. The tea smelled like chamomile, but my blood ran cold. On my kitchen counter sat a neat little box of packets, labeled by day and time, like someone had organized my life into doses. Outside, my daughter Megan and her husband Evan were already halfway down the street, waving like this was a normal vacation, like they hadn't just left a loaded gun on my counter and called it self-care. I'm Ray Collins, 67, retired Army, Ohio, widower. I've been shot at. I've buried friends. But nothing hits like realizing the danger is wearing a family smile. Tell me, where are you watching from today? I need to know I'm not alone. They pulled into my driveway a little after 9. Evan Hale got out first, airport casual and clean. He lifted their suitcase. "Morning, sir," he said. "Sir, not Ray." Then flashed that polite smile he used when he wanted something. "Thank you for watching Lily. 4-day vacation. Anniversary." My daughter Megan kissed my cheek. Her makeup was perfect. Her eyes looked used up. When she hugged me, her fingers trembled once, then went still. Lily climbed out last with a worn rabbit tucked under her arm. 6 years old. Born mute, the doctor said. She didn't wave, didn't speak, just gave me her small nod, then tucked closer to Megan's side. "Hey kiddo," I said, "you and me, okay?" Her mouth twitched, almost a smile. Then Evan looked over and her face went blank again. Inside my kitchen, Evan set a small box on the counter like a gift. Herbal chamomile blend. He flipped it open. Tea packets lined up in 2 neat rows, each labeled in black marker, 2 a.m., 2 p.m., fry a.m. "I prepped it for you," he said. "Morning and evening. Helps you sleep. Keeps your blood pressure steady. Consistency matters at your age." It wasn't the words. It was the tone, like he was briefing staff. "I didn't tell you I can't sleep," I said. Evan's smile stayed, but his eyes sharpened. "You forget things sometimes, Ray. No offense. We just want you feeling your best." Megan hovered by the counter, staring at the packets. "Pa, please drink it," she said quietly. "Don't skip." I glanced at her hand. Her index nail was chewed raw. Evan pulled out his phone. "Quick picture," he said, already angling it toward me and Lily, "so Megan doesn't worry." He snapped it fast and slipped the phone away. "Dad," Megan said, voice thin, "keep her on schedule, okay? Meals, bath, bedtime. If she gets upset, don't push her." Evan nodded like a man handing off a problem. "And if you feel dizzy," he added, "sit. Drink water." I wanted to ask why my daughter wouldn't meet my eyes, but the goodbye was already happening. Too quick, too rehearsed. At the door, Megan kissed Lily's forehead. "Be good for Grandpa." Lily clutched her rabbit tighter. No sound. Evan crouched beside her, voice syrup sweet. "Remember what we talked about, Lil, okay?" Lily's eyes flicked up, then away. They stepped onto my porch. Evan turned back one last time. "Ray, drink the tea. Morning and night. Don't get creative." He laughed, like it was a joke. Megan didn't. Then the front door shut. The click of the lock sounded louder than it should have. The house went still, like it was listening. Lily's rabbit slipped from her arm and hit the floor. She stared at the tea box on my counter like it could bite. Her shoulders shook. "Lily," I kept my voice low. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" She grabbed my wrist, hard, not a child's cling, an urgent stop. Her brown eyes locked onto mine, wide with a fear that came from practice. Then she spoke. "Grandpa," she whispered. The voice was clear, perfect words, even if it sounded unused. "Please, don't drink the tea Dad made." My blood ran cold. In that instant, I saw it. The packets weren't lined up for comfort. They were lined up for control. And Evan's photo wasn't a memory. It was an alibi. I didn't ask another question. I just listened to her breathing first. She leaned in closer, as if the walls had ears. "Dad said if you sleep," she rushed on, "you'll sign papers, and then you'll go somewhere else. And I won't see you again." For half a second, my mind tried to reject it. 6 years of silence. One sentence that changed everything. Old instincts kicked in. Don't panic, don't broadcast fear. I set the mug down slow, steady. "Okay," I said. "We're not drinking anything. Not until I understand." Lily swallowed, eyes glossy but brave. She pulled me closer and whispered so softly I felt it more than heard it. "I hid something," she said. "Dad thinks I can't read." Lily led me down the hallway like she'd done it 100 times. Quiet, careful, listening. Her room still looked like a kid's room. Stuffed animals, a little plastic tea set, coloring books. But there was nothing soft in the way she moved. She knelt beside her toy chest, lifted the lid, and dug past the dolls like she was searching a hiding spot on a timetable. Before that, I said gently, "Look at me. Lily, can you really talk?" She nodded, eyes fixed on my face. "Yes." "How long?" She hesitated, then said it like it was the most normal thing in the world. "A long time." My throat tightened. "Since when?" "Since I was little," she whispered. "But Dad said, I can't." The anger came fast. Hot. I forced it back down. I couldn't scare her, not with my face, not with my voice. "Tell me what he said." Lily hugged her rabbit to her chest. "He said if I talk in front of people, they'll take me to a special hospital, the kind for bad kids. He said they'll make me sleep, and I won't wake up." My stomach dropped. A 6-year-old repeating threats like bedtime rules. "And Grandpa," she added, voice smaller, "he said if you don't drink the tea, you'll go to a home anyway, a place with locks. He said you won't remember me." I swallowed hard. "Did he say that to you out loud?" She nodded again. "Mom was there." That one hurt worse. "Did Mom stop him?" Lily's eyes flicked away. "Mom says, don't make him mad. She says, just do what he says, Lily." I closed my eyes for a second. Megan, my daughter, had let a grown man teach my granddaughter fear like it was manners. When I opened them, Lily was watching me, like she was measuring whether I'd still be safe after she told the truth. "You're not in trouble," I said. "Not with me. You understand?" Her shoulders loosened just a little. "How do you know all this?" I asked. "How do you know about papers and signing?" Lily's voice got firmer, like she'd been waiting for someone to finally ask the right question. "Because I listen," she said. "People talk around me. They think I'm nothing." The word stung coming out of her mouth. "I'm not mute," she whispered. "Dad makes me be mute." Twist. There it was. Not a miracle. A prison. "And how did you learn words?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "TV," she said. The words at the bottom. "Captions. And your books. The little ones you leave on the table. I can read some." I stared at her. 6 years old, reading, acting mute, carrying secrets like bricks. "Okay," I said, because if I let my voice shake, she'd think she'd made a mistake. "Tell me about the tea." Lily's gaze snapped to the kitchen like the box was still watching. "Dad doesn't make it in the kitchen," she said. "He makes it in the bathroom. The big bathroom. He locks the door." My skin crawled. "Why the bathroom?" "So Mom won't smell it," she said. "So I won't see." "But you did see," I said. She nodded once. I peeked. He put the tea bag in a cup. Then he put a white powder in. He used a little spoon. He stirred until it was gone. A child's description. Simple. And still, it made my palms sweat. "What did it smell like?" I asked. Not like tea," she said quickly. "Like sharp. Like when Mom cleans the sink. And the powder. Dad says it's vitamins, but it doesn't look like vitamins." She shivered. Mom stood there and watched him. She didn't talk. She just looked at the floor. I felt something crack in me. Megan's silence wasn't neutral. It was permission. "Lily," I said, "you said you hid something." She turned back to the toy chest and pulled out a small tablet, one of those kid devices with a rubber case. The screen had a cracked corner. She tapped it like she'd done it 1,000 times, navigated with quick little swipes that didn't belong to a frightened child. Then she held it up to me. A photo, Evan's hands over a cup, a small digital scale on the counter, a little plastic bag beside it, white powder measured like he was baking, not making tea. My chest went tight. "I took it," she whispered. "He left his phone on the counter once. He wasn't looking. I used my tablet." I stared at her, stunned. "You did that by yourself?" She nodded, almost ashamed. "I had to." She swiped again. Another image. A printed packet on a desk. Big bold words at the top. "Emergency guardianship." The rest too small for me to read. But the header was enough. A legal-looking form. My eyes caught my name in one corner. Raymond Collins. Then the last photo. A yellow sticky note, handwritten in Evan's sharp block letters. "Dad confused. Signed Sunday." I sat down on the edge of her bed because my knees didn't trust me anymore. The house wasn't just quiet. It was staged, scheduled, predetermined. Evan wasn't hoping I'd get worse. He was planning for it, creating it. I looked up at Lily. "When did you take these?" "This week," she said. "Dad was printing. Mom was packing. They thought I was playing." My voice came out low. "You saved me." Her eyes went wet. "I didn't want you to go away." I pulled her into my arms carefully, like she was something fragile that had survived fire. "You did the bravest thing I've ever seen a kid do," I said into her hair. "Now we do the next brave thing. We do it smart." She nodded against my shoulder. I stood and walked her back toward the kitchen, keeping my body between her and the tea box. I didn't touch the packets with bare hands. I didn't dump them. I didn't get dramatic. I got practical. I grabbed 2-gallon-sized zip bags from under the sink, slid the entire tea box into one, and sealed it. Then I took the mug Evan had helped me set out earlier, and I bagged that too. I pulled my phone out and filmed myself doing it. Slow, clear, no gaps. "This is Thursday," I said into the camera. 9:58 a.m. Evan Hale delivered these tea packets. I am sealing them now. Lily warned me not to drink them. I am not drinking them. I ended the video, then took still photos from every angle. The labeled packets, the box, the seal. Lily watched, quiet, absorbing the rules. "Listen to me," I said, kneeling so she could see my face. 3 rules. No tea. Not even a sip. 2. We don't open the door for anyone. Not neighbors, not helpers, nobody. 3. We don't talk about this on the phone unless we have to. Phones can be listened to. Her eyebrows pinched. "Dad listens." "I don't know," I admitted, "but we assume he does." She nodded like that assumption didn't surprise her at all. I glanced at the wall calendar by my fridge. 4 days. That's what they said. But plans change when plans fail. "They might come back early," I said, "if they think something's wrong." Lily's voice dropped to a whisper. "Dad said tonight he'll call. FaceTime. He wants to see you drink it." The air in my kitchen turned thick. Of course he did. He didn't want hope. He wanted confirmation. I checked my phone. No missed calls yet. Then it vibrated in my hand like a warning shot. The screen lit up. Even. Video call. I looked at Lily. Her small hands twisted the rabbit's ears until the fabric creased. I forced my face calm. "Okay," I said quietly. "We start acting now." I met her eyes. "Can you go quiet again?" Lily nodded once, and just like that, her mouth closed, her expression smoothed, her whole body folded back into the role they'd taught her. I tapped accept. Evan's face filled the screen, smiling like nothing in the world was wrong. I glanced down at Lily, then back at the camera. "All right," I murmured, barely moving my lips. "Begin," I told her. "Time to act, soldier." Evan's face hovered on my screen like a spotlight. "Hey, Ray," he said, bright and casual, "just checking in. How's Lily doing?" I let my eyelids droop a little. "She's fine, quiet." "Good." His eyes flicked down, searching the frame like he was scanning a room. "Put her on camera." I turned the phone slightly. Lily sat at the kitchen table with her rabbit, shoulders rounded, gaze down, mute again, exactly the way Evan liked her. Evan's smile softened into something approving. "There's my girl." Then the real question came, smooth as oil. "And you, did you make the tea?" I stared at the phone like I had to think. "Tea? Yeah, I'm making it. Make sure you drink it, okay?" His voice stayed friendly, but the edges tightened. "It helps you sleep." "I'm boiling water," I said, shuffling toward the stove. I didn't touch the tea box. I didn't open a packet. I grabbed a mug, filled the kettle, turned it on, and when it clicked, I poured plain hot water like it was medicine. My hand moved slow on purpose, like an old man with shaky joints. Evan watched every inch of it. "Hold it up," he said. I lifted the mug toward the camera. Steam curled up. It looked convincing. It smelled like nothing. "Take a sip," Evan said. There it was. Not a check-in, a confirmation. I brought the mug to my lips and let it touch just barely. I swallowed nothing. Then I licked my lips like I'd taken medicine. "Okay," I mumbled. "Tastes fine." Evan leaned closer to his camera like he could smell through glass. "Good. Finish it." "I will," I said, letting my voice drag. "I'm tired." His eyes darted back to Lily. "Is she eating?" Yeah, peanut butter." Evan nodded once, satisfied. "Keep her on schedule, don't—" He paused, choosing a softer word. "Don't confuse her." "I won't," I said. He smiled again. "All right, love you guys. Tell Lily Daddy says hi." I lowered the phone toward Lily. She didn't look up. When the call ended, the silence that followed felt like I'd just survived a patrol. I exhaled slowly. "He believed it," I said. Lily's voice came back in a whisper. "He always wants to see." "Because he's not giving orders," I said. "He's checking his work." I moved fast now, but quiet. I wiped the mug rim with a paper towel, dropped the towel into a zip bag, too. I wasn't going to let anyone say later that I contaminated anything or that I'd been sloppy. War room rules. Control the scene. Control the story. Then I called the only doctor I trusted to tell me the truth without ego. Dr. Patel picked up on the second ring. "Ray, everything okay?" "Not on the phone," I said. "But I need you today. I need a basic toxicology panel, blood work, urgent." There was a pause. "Ray, what happened?" "I suspect someone's been putting something in my drinks," I said. "I have a sealed sample of what they gave me." Another pause. Longer. Skepticism, but not dismissal. "Are you feeling symptoms?" he asked carefully. I glanced at the tea packets, lined like a calendar. Thought about the last year, foggy mornings, forgotten names, the way I'd blamed age because it was easier than suspicion. "Dizziness," I said. "Sleepiness. Confusion that comes and goes." Dr. Patel's voice shifted. "Okay, I can be there in 45 minutes. Don't eat anything new. Don't drink anything except bottled water, and keep what you have sealed." "I will," I said. "Thank you." When I hung up, Lily watched me like I'd just pulled out a shield. "Are we telling the police?" she asked. "Not yet," I said. "Not until we have proof that survives daylight." She didn't argue. She understood more than she should. Next call was my lawyer. Nora Klein answered with her usual efficiency. "Ray Collins, this better not be about your neighbor's fence again." "It's not," I said. "I need you in serious mode." I gave her the short version, tea, child, guardianship packet. No drama, just facts. Nora went quiet, then said, "Do not confront anyone without a clean chain of evidence." "What do I need?" I asked. 3 things, she said. 1, medical confirmation you were drugged, blood work. 2, the samples, sealed, documented. 3, a statement from the person doing it, or something close to it. "A confession," I said. "Or an admission," she corrected. "And Ray, if you're thinking about recording, Ohio is one-party consent. If you're in the conversation, you can record it legally." My chest tightened, not from fear, check clarity. "Okay," I said, "I'm going to need a recorder." "One more thing," Nora added. "Keep the child safe. Don't let this turn into a story where you're painted as unstable." That word again. Unstable. It was the easiest weapon to use on an old man and a mute kid. As if on cue, a knock rattled my front door. Not a casual neighbor knock, a firm, official rhythm. Lily's body went rigid. I didn't open it. I stepped to the side window and peeked through the blinds. A uniform, a patrol car at the curb. Officer Reyes stood on my porch, one hand resting near his belt, the other holding a notepad. My stomach sank. Evan didn't wait. He sent the world to my house. I opened the door halfway, chain still on. "Can I help you?" "Mr. Collins." Reyes's voice was polite, practiced. "We got a call requesting a welfare check. Anonymous concern about an elderly resident and a minor child." "Anonymous, sure." "I'm fine," I said. "Lily's fine. Who called?" "Can't disclose that," he said. "Mind if I step in and take a quick look?" I kept my tone even. "I'd rather not, but you can see me. You can hear me. I'm not in distress." Reyes's eyes slid past my shoulder, searching for Lily. "Where's the child?" Lily stayed seated at the table, head down, rabbit in her lap. Silent. Reyes looked back at me. "Do you have any medical conditions we should know about? Memory issues? Anxiety?" There it was. The frame. The narrative Evan wanted in writing. "No," I said, "and I don't drink." Reyes glanced at the kitchen counter, at the mug. "You sure about that?" I felt the trap closing. One wrong reaction, and I'd become the confused elder in an official report. "I appreciate your concern, officer," I said calmly. "You can note, I am lucid. I am safe. The child is safe. If you need a statement, I can provide it, with counsel present." Reyes studied my face for a beat. Then he nodded, writing something down anyway. "All right, if anything changes, call." "I will," I said. When he left, I closed the door, locked it, and leaned my forehead against the wood for half a second. "They're moving fast," I murmured. Lily's voice came out like a thread. "Dad does that. He makes people come." "Yeah," I said. "And now we know he's not just plotting. He's building a file." Lily pointed toward the living room, toward the wall outlet beside my bookshelf. "Dad always touches that," she whispered. "Every time he comes." I walked over, crouched, and took the outlet cover off with a screwdriver from my junk drawer. Behind it was a tiny black lens no bigger than a shirt button, wired into a little device I'd never installed. A camera. My mouth went dry. "He's been watching," I said. Lily nodded like it was obvious. "He says Grandpa forgets things. He says he needs proof." Proof. For court. For guardianship. For control. I snapped photos before I touched anything else. Then I bagged the device. Gloves this time, paper towels, careful like a crime scene. As I did, something crinkled in Lily's rabbit. Not the stuffing, the kind of paper sound that doesn't belong in a toy. I gently took the rabbit from her hands. "Lily, did you put something in here?" She nodded once, eyes huge. "Mom did. She told me to keep it safe. I found the seam where the back had been cut and restitched. Inside was a folded note, creased like it had been carried for weeks. 3 lines in Megan's handwriting. But if anything happens, open the blue Bible, please. My throat tightened. Megan wasn't innocent, but she wasn't fully gone either. Before I could speak, a low rumble rolled through the street. A truck. It stopped right in front of my house. I eased to the window and lifted the blind a fraction. A man in a polo stepped out, clipboard in hand, lanyard around his neck. He looked up at my porch like he belonged there. On the side of the truck, a logo I didn't recognize, but the words underneath were clear enough. Elder Care Assessment Services. I looked back at Lily. Her lips barely moved. Dad said, "People would come to check you." I felt that old hyper-focused calm settle into my bones. War room phase was over. They'd started the next move, and my front door was about to become a battlefield. The knock came again, 2 sharp raps, then a pause like he expected obedience. I kept Lily behind me and stepped to the door without touching the lock. I didn't open it. I pressed the doorbell camera button and spoke through the intercom. "Can I help you?" A man's voice answered, friendly and trained. "Mr. Collins, hi, I'm with Elder Care Assessment Services. We're here for a wellness evaluation. It won't take long." "No appointment," I said. "You can leave." He chuckled like I'd misunderstood. "We were hired by your daughter's husband, Evan Hale. He requested an urgent assessment." My fingers tightened around the edge of the counter. So that was the play, not just poison, paperwork, a report, a professional signature that said, Ray Collins can't manage himself. "I'm declining," I said. "Go away." "Sir," he tried, softer now. "If you refuse, I have to note that you were uncooperative. That could be important for your family." "Important for your family." Translation, important for court. I leaned closer to the speaker. "Put this in your notes. I am lucid. I am safe. The child is safe. Leave my property." A beat. Then the man's voice cooled. "Understood." His footsteps faded down my porch. When his truck door shut, I didn't feel relief. I felt time compress. Evan wasn't waiting for me to die quietly. He was building a machine that could swallow me whether I lived or not. Lily tugged my sleeve. "Blue Bible," she whispered. I stared at her rabbit, still split open where I'd found the note. Megan had planted that message like a flare in the dark. Maybe she'd been trapped. Maybe she'd been a coward. Both could be true. "Okay," I said, "and we do it." The Blue Bible sat on the bottom shelf of my bookcase, worn at the corners from years of my wife's hands. I pulled it out like it was heavier than paper. Inside the back cover, taped flat so it wouldn't slide, was a small brass key, a tiny USB drive, and a folded page with a notary stamp. My pulse thudded once, hard. Megan hadn't just left me a warning. She'd left me leverage. I carried it to the table and sat, forcing my hand steady. Lily climbed onto the chair beside me, rabbit in her lap, eyes fixed on the USB like she already knew what was on it. I plugged it into my laptop. One file, a video. The date stamp was from 2 weeks ago. I clicked play. Megan's face filled the screen, tears streaked, hair pulled back like she'd been crying for hours. She whispered like someone might hear through the walls. "Dad, if you're watching this, it means I didn't have the courage to say it to your face." She swallowed, looking off camera. "Evan made me do this. He said if I fight him, he'll take Lily and tell everyone I'm unstable. He said he'll tell them I'm mentally ill. He already has people he can call, doctors, friends. He said they'll believe him." She wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand. "Please, Dad, don't drink anything he gives you. Not the tea, not the vitamins, nothing. He's been planning this. He keeps talking about guardianship, about how you're declining. He wants the house. He wants control. And he..." Her voice cracked. "He scares me." She looked straight into the camera then, like she was finally speaking to me. "I'm sorry, I've been quiet because I thought keeping the peace would protect Lily. It didn't. It just made him bolder." The video ended. For a second, the kitchen went silent except for the hum of my refrigerator. Lily's little hand slid into mine. I felt rage. Yes, but beneath it was something worse. The cold recognition of a plan that had been running longer than I'd noticed. I opened the notarized paper. A copy of an application, emergency guardianship, with my name on it. A draft power of attorney that gave Evan authority in the event of incapacity, and a third page that made my throat tighten. A deed transfer draft. My home, moved into a trust, managed by spouse for the benefit of family. He wasn't just trying to poison me. He was trying to erase me. The vacation wasn't a vacation, it was cover. 4 days to poison, document, decline, and line up signatures before anyone could stop it. I stared at the papers until the words blurred. Then I exhaled once, slow, and the soldier part of me stepped forward. "Okay," I said quietly. "Now I know the battlefield." Lily looked up. "Is Mom bad?" I didn't lie to her. "Your mom made a terrible choice. She stayed quiet, but she's also asking for help." "Will Dad hurt her?" Lily asked. "He'll try," I said, "which is why we're going to do this clean, not loud, clean." I called Nora back. She picked up immediately. "Ray?" "I have something," I said. "Megan left a video. She says Evan threatened to take Lily and label her unstable. And I have copies of the guardianship paperwork, POA draft, deed transfer." Nora went dead quiet for 2 beats. Then, "That video helps motive. It helps show coercion. But it's not enough to convict him on intent by itself." "I know," I said. "We need Evan on record," she continued. "We need him saying what he wants. We need him tying the T to the paperwork, even if he uses euphemisms." "An admission," I said. "Exactly," Nora said. "Ray, don't get into a physical confrontation. If he feels exposed, he'll flip the script and claim you're aggressive. And he already started building that file." I glanced at the bag T, the hidden camera on my table, the welfare check that had just happened. "I see it," I said, "so we make him talk." "How?" Nora asked. I looked at the bookcase where Mary's war history books sat in a tidy row, spines faded, a perfect hiding spot. Simple. No gadgets, no theatrics. "I'll give him what he wants," I said. "A weak old man, confused, cooperative, and I'll ask him for the paperwork so I don't forget. He'll get greedy. He'll explain. He'll coach me." Nora's voice lowered. "If you can get him to instruct you on camera or audio, that's gold." "I can," I said, "and I'll keep Lily out of the line of fire." "Good," Nora said. "Call me the moment they're back in the house." When I hung up, I moved like the clock was chasing me. I found an old digital recorder in my desk drawer from a veteran speaking event. Small, reliable, nothing fancy. I tested it once. Red light, clear playback. I slipped it behind 2 thick hardcover books on the shelf near the couch, angled toward the room. I didn't overthink it. Overthinking gets you caught. Then I sent Evan a text with fingers that forced themselves to tremble. "Ray, feeling strange. Head spins. That tea makes me so tired. Can you send me those papers again so I don't forget what you want me to sign? Hard to keep track lately." The reply came in under a minute. "Evan, of course, rest. I'm glad you're taking it seriously. We'll handle everything when we get back." I stared at the screen. "We'll handle everything." Like I was cargo. Lily climbed onto the couch beside me, watching my face. "He answered fast," she whispered. "Because he thinks he's winning," I said. She swallowed. "Are they coming back Sunday?" "That was the plan," I said, though my gut didn't believe in plans anymore. Lily slid off the couch and grabbed her tablet from the toy chest. Her fingers moved fast, too practiced. She tapped an app I didn't recognize, then froze. "What?" I asked. "Dad's voicemail," she whispered. "He forgot to log out." She hit play. Evan's voice filled the room, low and annoyed, like he was talking to an airline agent. "Yeah, change the tickets. We're coming back early. Sunday. No, make it Saturday night if you can. I need to get him to sign before anyone starts asking questions. Yes, do it." My stomach tightened into a hard knot. Not Sunday. Saturday night. I checked the clock. It wasn't even noon. We had less than 24 hours. I looked at Lily. Her eyes were wide but steady, like she'd decided she was done being afraid. I crouched in front of her. "Listen to me. When they come in, you go quiet. You stay near me. You don't run toward them. You don't argue. You don't show them your voice unless I tell you." She nodded. "And if you get scared," I added, "you squeeze my hand. Once for I'm okay. Twice for I need out." She practiced it right there. 2 quick squeezes, then 1. "Good," I said. "You're not alone." A sound rolled up the street. Tires on gravel, familiar. My heart didn't race. It narrowed. I moved to the front window and lifted the blind a fraction. A silver sedan turned onto my driveway. Too soon. My chest went cold in the cleanest, sharpest way. I turned back to Lily and lowered my voice until it was only for her. "They're here," I said. Her small hand slid into mine. I leaned close and whispered the only truth that mattered now. "It's time to go to war." I had minutes to become the man Evan needed me to be. I left my shirt buttoned wrong, rubbed my hair flat on one side, and let my shoulders sag like they'd been losing strength for months. I sat in my armchair and stared at nothing. A tired old man. A simple file. Lily curled on the rug near my feet with her rabbit, eyes down, silent again, back inside the role she'd been forced to play for 6 years. The recorder sat hidden behind my war books, red light buried, listening. Headlights washed the living room wall, tires on gravel, doors shutting. Then the front lock turned. "Ray!" Evan's voice boomed through my hallway, bright like a salesman. "We got an earlier flight. Surprise!" He stepped in first, rolling a suitcase, smiling like the world was harmless. Megan followed behind him, smaller somehow, eyes red like she'd cried and tried to erase it. Evan stopped when he saw me. For a flicker, one sharp, ugly second, irritation flashed across his face, like he'd expected me to be flat on my back. Then he put the smile back on. "Hey, sir," he said, "how you feeling?" I blinked slow. "Evan, you back already?" "Just worried," he said. His eyes flicked toward the kitchen, hunting for that tea box. "You've been drinking the tea. Morning and night." I nodded vague. "Tea helps me sleep." His shoulders loosened. He exhaled like a man watching a plan stay on track. "Good," he said softly. "That's good." He dropped a thick folder onto my coffee table. "We just need a couple signatures, Ray. Nothing scary. It's for your safety." Megan stood behind him, gripping Lily's suitcase handle. Her knuckles were white. She couldn't meet my eyes. "Safety," I repeated, like I was tasting the word. Evan sat on my couch without asking. He opened the folder with a practiced calm, as if he'd done this to other people. "You've been having a harder time," he said. "That's normal. No shame. But you can't make decisions alone anymore." I let my mouth hang open a beat. "Decisions? Like what?" "Where you live," Evan said smoothly. "There are facilities, nice ones, nurses, people trained for this. You'll be comfortable. My house," I mumbled. "I like my house." Evan's tone went gentle, almost loving. "And you can still see it. But you can't manage everything. Bills, medication, safety. It's too much." He slid a paper forward. "Sign here." I didn't touch the pen. I needed him talking. I needed him explaining in his own words what he was doing. So I asked the question an old, confused man would ask. "If I sign, who gets the house?" Evan smiled like he'd been waiting. "Megan will manage it for the family, and I'll handle the details." I blinked. "So, you." Evan laughed softly. "Not me, Ray. We're doing this because we love you." Behind him, Megan's throat bobbed. She swallowed like she was fighting a panic attack. Evan leaned closer, lowering his voice like a secret. "The faster you get stabilized, the less messy this is. Less paperwork. Less complications." I let the word hang. "Stabilized," I repeated. "Or gone?" His eyes sharpened. He recovered fast. "Ray, don't get dramatic. We're talking about help." "Help," I echoed. Then I turned my head toward Megan. "Megan," I said quietly, "do you want to say something?" The room paused. A long beat, long enough for Evan to step in and speak for her. "She's exhausted," he said, not looking back. "This has been hard on her. You've been declining." Megan's hands shook. Then she let go of the suitcase handle like it burned her. She stepped forward, eyes glossy. "Bah!" Her voice cracked. "Con Shin Loy." Evan whipped around. "Megan!" She didn't stop. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a cheap burner phone. She set it on the table like a confession. "Trong Nai," she whispered. "Latin nan Evan doa con." Evan's smile finally broke. "What is this?" Megan's words came out uneven, but real. "Anj ta noi nu con chong. Anj ta si lei lily. Anj ta si noi con jien. Anj ta noi anj ta jan chuan bingoi lam chongj." I felt anger rise, hot, clean, dangerous, not just at Evan, at my daughter's silence, at the years that silence stole. Evan reached for the phone. I lifted a hand. "Stop. Don't touch it." His eyes went flat. "Ray, you don't understand what you're doing." "I understand plenty," I said softly. "Keep talking." That's when Lily stood. Not toward her mother, not toward her father. Toward my bookshelf. Evan's head snapped to her like a sensor catching motion. "Lily, sit down." She didn't. She reached behind the war books, pulled the recorder out, and turned to face him. "This has been recording," Lily said, voice clear as a bell. The air left the room. Evan's face drained. "That's impossible." "I can talk," Lily said. "I always could." Megan covered her mouth, one sob escaping, sharp and broken. Evan took a step toward Lily. "You're confused. Stop." Lily lifted her chin. "Dad bat kanjia calm," she said. "Dad said if I talked, Grandpa would sleep forever." Evan's eyes snapped to me. "You coached her." I stood up straight, dropped the slumped shoulders, dropped the fog. "I've been lucid the whole time," I said. "I just stopped drinking your tea." Evan's jaw tightened. "You have no proof." I do, I said. Dr. Patel ran blood work this morning. There's an unprescribed sedative in my system. I reached to the side table and lifted the sealed zip bag with the tea box inside. And this is what you left in my kitchen. Evan lunged for it. I stepped back. Clean. He missed. And then the mask slipped all the way. You think anyone's going to believe you? He snapped. An old man and a kid? If you die from an accident, who proves anything? He froze mid-breath when he realized he'd said it. Megan's eyes went wide with horror. Lily's face crumpled, but she didn't move. Brave, even in pain. Evan recovered by attacking the easiest target. He lunged for Lily. I moved without thinking. I caught his wrist mid-grab and locked my grip. His bones stopped moving. His eyes flared. Let go, he hissed. Megan screamed, stop! Lily stumbled back, rabbit falling, tears spilling. I leaned in close, voice low and flat. Touch that little girl again, I said, and I will treat it like war. Evan shifted tactics, loud now, performative. He's drunk, he shouted. He's attacking me. He's violent. He's confused. Megan cried, that's not true. Lily backed toward the kitchen phone, shaking. I'm calling, she sobbed. Do it, I said, never taking my eyes off Evan. The sirens took their time. Real life doesn't teleport justice. It crawls. Evan smiled, breathless. They're going to take you, Ray. You just proved my point. The knock hit the door hard. Officer Reyes stepped in fast, scanning. He saw my grip on Evan's wrist, Lily crying, Megan shaking. For one terrifying second, I could feel Evan's narrative trying to win. I spoke first, calm. Officer, the recorder on the table. Play it. Megan has evidence on that phone. There's also a hidden camera device I found in my outlet. Reyes hesitated. Then Lily looked up through tears and spoke with a clear, steady voice that cut through every doubt. He made me pretend, she said. He made Grandpa drink tea. He said Grandpa would sleep forever. Reyes's eyes changed. He stepped to the table, hit play. Evan's own words filled the room. Facility, signatures, stabilized, accident. Megan shoved the burner phone toward Reyes. His messages, she cried. He threatened me. He threatened to take her. Reyes turned to Evan. Sir, turn around, hands behind your back. Evan laughed, desperate. This is insane. He's senile. Turn around, Reyes repeated. Cuffs clicked. Evan's face twisted as they walked him out. Tell them he's unstable. He's manipulating her. The door shut on his voice. Silence returned. Different now. Not fear. Aftermath. Megan sank onto my couch, shaking. Lily ran to me and buried her face in my shirt, sobbing like her body finally believed it was allowed. Megan looked up at me, eyes wrecked. Bah, she whispered. Con John G. Lily im long so num. I held her gaze. The anger didn't vanish. It sharpened into something clean. You'll make it right, I said. But not with words. She nodded, crying. By choices, I finished. Starting now. 2 months later, the house felt like mine again. Not because the walls changed, because the air did. Lily sat at my kitchen table with her therapist's workbook, sounding out words like she was reclaiming something stolen. The first time she raised her hand in class and read a paragraph out loud, her teacher emailed me and said she looked proud, like she'd been waiting years to be seen. On Wednesdays, I started showing up at the VFW hall, sometimes the church basement when the hall was booked, with a folding table and a simple sign. Estate literacy. Wills, password lists, credit freezes. If someone ever tries to call you confused, I'd tell the older guys, make sure your paperwork remembers you. Megan's visit started supervised, short, awkward, honest. She didn't beg. She showed up, did the work, and left Lily calmer than she found her. Slowly, the schedule loosened. Trust doesn't snap back. It's rebuilt. Every morning, I make tea now, but I make it myself. No packets lined like orders, no help with strings attached. Just hot water, my hands, and a quiet kitchen. Here's what I learned. Some families aren't betrayed with a knife. They're betrayed with care delivered too precisely. Silence isn't peace. Sometimes it's a prison, and paperwork doesn't make you cold. It keeps you alive. Now tell me, where are you watching from? City, country. And if you were me, would you forgive Megan